Okay guys, I'm here with Brian from Winchester Australia. He's going to show us around with the great new products that Winchester Australia has. First of all, Brian, thanks very much for your time, mate.
No worries at all.
Very much appreciate you talking to us here at Aussie Reviews. We've got here the Browning series. Can you just give viewers a bit of a rundown on the different models and the specs on them?
Yep, pretty much A-bolts are the older model, so to speak, these days. Now we get into the X-bolt, which is the newer version.
Yep.
You'll probably have seen some pretty good reviews and pricing on the A-bolt.
Yeah.
Pretty much stainless stalkers at 1,040 with at RRP. Hunters about 995 at RRP.
Yep.
And of course composite stalkers at about 880.
Yep.
The A-bolt, basically Browning sort of semi-discontinued the A-bolt to make production time to be able to produce X-bolt. But we've negotiated with Browning, and we're the only country that basically order these guns in the quantities, and we get them once a year through Browning.
Right, okay.
So we sort of try to buy enough of that stock to keep the hunters happy for a 12-month period. It's a bit of a crystal ball, but so far the last 2 years with the promotion we've managed to do very, very well with it.
Yep.
And we've actually run out of stock both years running.
Right, okay.
So,
well, that's good to hear, because obviously people are buying it. If you're running out of stock, well, you're turning over business. So
yeah, definitely.
That's always good.
It's been a really good promotion. We've never been able to really play in that price bracket before, but to have such a good product and a well-respected product in that marketplace, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
So,
yep. Excellent. And what sort of caliber range are we looking at? Do you have like the varmint calibers right up to the more, I suppose, heavy calibers in this range?
Basically, 223 up to 375 H&H.
Okay, so pretty much everything in between that.
Pretty much everything. There's a few oddball calibers that Browning still offer.
Okay.
It's like 280 Rem and 2506 and things along those lines. But as a rule, we're trying to keep with the mainstay.
Yeah.
New South Wales 223, 243, 308 are very popular calibers.
Yep.
In Victoria, we sort of start at 223 and then go to 3006, 300s, 300 short mags, and so forth. So.
Right. Okay. And with all these rifles, the Brownings, what sort of guarantees do you have with them on the side of like accuracy and also warranties?
Yep. Well, Winchester Australia, based in Geelong, we've got our own 100-metre proving range, accuracy testing range, which is a SAMI accredited range.
Yep.
Pretty much, if there's anyone's got any accuracy concerns with their firearms, we just get them to send it back to their local dealer or where they purchased the firearm from. We'll send the gun back to our gunsmith. He'll generally give the gun a really good scrub first. That's 9 times out of 10, any issues that come back with that are either the firearm hasn't been cleaned properly or there's been problems with the scope not holding zero. We basically take the scope mounts off, we put our own scope mounts off, lock them into a jig, shoot them at 100 metres. Most of the time we'll get a sub 1 inch group out of factory ammunition, which is basically it's Browning spec. So,
I mean, for most people, especially if they're looking at hunting application, I mean, that's more than acceptable.
True, it really is. Everyone sort of would love to see the great little clover leaf all the time, but you can certainly attain that type of accuracy with certain. You might get a rifle that loves a particular brand and a particular type of ammunition. If you hand load for it, that's a quicker way of doing that.
And what about the warranty? Is there a certain limit, like a 2-year warranty, 1-year warranty, or what's the standard warranty on the firearms?
Standard warranty is a 12-month warranty out of Browning. We really don't get a lot back, to be perfectly honest with you. We sort of have no problems with stocks. We get a few accidents with guys, accidentally ran over their stock or have done something along those lines. But really, it's we just don't get too much of them come back. And I said, if it's come back with an accuracy concern or a feeding concern, we've got a gunsmith on site, and it's pretty easy.
Right. Okay. And what about your actual Winchester line of rifles? Can we take a quick look at them while we're here?
Sure. They're on the other side of the
excellent. Okay, so this is your full line here.
Not quite the full line. We're out of we've had a one gun there, which was sold during the show.
Right.
So basically, starting at the old classic LT Sporter, which is classic American stock, light gloss blue. Then we go to the featherweight.
Yep.
The mainstay one, which has been very popular over the last few years, which is the Extreme All Weather.
Yep.
And last year we managed to get hold of some of the new Safaris, so they've been a very, very popular gun with your big game guys, shooting 375s and things along those lines.
Okay, and what sort of price range are we looking across the Winchester line, just approximate?
Look, pretty much a featherweight will sort of start at around about $14.95 as an RRP, and then up to your super grade, which is high gloss stocks, high gloss bluing, and you're getting around about $18.95.
Yep.
So most of it's under the sub $2,000 range. They're all control round feed, still made in the US.
Yep. Okay. And the one on the end here, is that obviously with a fluted barrel, more the varmint style over obviously some of the other models here?
Yep, it's a Coyote Light, that one, they call that one. It's fluted barrel. It's available in 22 250 and 243.
Yep.
They haven't quite chambered a 223 yet in any of the Model 70s.
Okay.
If you're going back to when Model 70s were produced by US Repeating Arms Corporation, we did do 223, but it was on a push feed action. Everything you see here is on a control round feed action.
Right, okay, excellent. And what about for those of you out there that are right into the Western action? What do we got here in the lever actions?
Yeah, look, the lever actions came on board late in 2010.
Yep.
It took us a while to get them, simply because the US was a massive demand for them.
Yeah.
They produced a lot of different configurations. They're made by Moroku facility out of Japan. Similar, if you remember the old Browning Browning levers, they've always produced a really, really good lever action out of Japan. And this is part of the range that we've got. We've received a couple of the high grade versions, like the Oliver F. Winchester ones, things like that. But the US demand far outweighs what our capacity is. So we get as much as we can, that's a small selection of them that we've got.
And what's the calibers, all the popular Western style calibers like 30-30 and
30-30s have only just started to come through now.
Okay.
44, 40, 45 long Colt, 45-70 and some of the high walls. There's been quite a few 44 Rem Mag. All those traditional sort of lever calibers, very good hunting calibers, pig guys, quad bikes. But as far as 30-30 goes, 30-30s we've only would have been within the last 3 months that we've received 30-30s. So they're going gangbusters for us.
Yeah, excellent. And I see on the prices there, is that the retail prices, what people would be expecting to pay?
Yeah, well, the prices you see on those there, they're a little bit sharper than normal for the show.
Sure.
But look, the pricing wise, they're very, very competitive on the market these days. So
excellent. And last of all, with the Winchester brand, we got the shotguns.
Yes.
So if we could have a quick look at them, that would be excellent.
No worries. There's no Winchester shotguns here, they're all Browning.
Browning,
They're Lambert and Browning.
Okay.
So Browning is our mainstay in shotguns. We don't, the Winchester only have two models.
Right, okay, no worries at all. So this is all the Browning line here?
It's a Browning line.
Okay, now with the, personally I'm not a big time play target shooter and so forth, so I'd be your sort of customer who'd come in and I'd perhaps looking for a high quality entry grade under and over. So is there obviously different grades in the Browning line?
Certainly is. We basically start with our Satori Sporter, which is a firearm which we order in large quantities through Browning. They're Invector Plus chugs, 3-inch chambers in a sporting configuration. So they're very, very popular with guys, particularly Victoria, or where they're shooting a gun, might be going to shoot clay targets a couple of times a month, but they'll go out and shoot ducks.
Right.
And of course, with the inception of steel shot, having 3-inch chambers is a massive, is something that's needed, and with multi-chokes. Something the New South Wales guys are going to need with a duck season and quail season looming here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, a lot of those 3-inch cartridges and that, they're fairly effective with a longer range and so forth like that. There's a lot of charge behind them.
Certainly with steel shot, the performance is based in 3-inch. There's a lot of 3-inch stuff in steel. US being that they can still shoot semi-automatics over there. They just keep feeding them in. But with us, there's a lot of guns still in Australia that are only chambered for 2 3/4 inch. And if anyone's interested in purchasing a new shotgun, it's certainly something that they should consider is what the chambering of the gun is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and just finally, what I wanted to touch on was you guys, Winchester Australia, are the sole manufacturers of the new rimfire ammunition.
Correct. Yep.
Can we have a quick look at that? So this is a new subsonic and PowerPoint.
Yeah, well, you noticed a couple of years ago, it's a year and a half ago now that we launched the 42 Max and the 42 PowerPoint. What you see in this cabinet here is when we did the quality testing program that we did, the general consensus of shooters is to get an opinion is what can we do to do that. Most shooters said give us free ammunition, so we did. So we gave a 5-round sample pack of the PowerPoint or the subsonic, let the guys shoot it and see how they like it from there. And these are some of the comments that we've received back and the testing and the test targets from that campaign.
Excellent. Yeah, I think like most of us here in Australia, when we were growing up and starting out on our first 22, usually it was with a pack of Winchester PowerPoints and up the back paddock and so forth like that. So it's certainly sort of ingrained here in Australia, the name, that's for sure. And once again, fairly competitive with prices. When you're looking at perhaps like especially European 22 rimfire ammunition and so forth, you're really starting to get up there.
It's funny enough, our subsonic and PowerPoint, both in 42 and the 40 grain version, we export a hell of a lot of that to the UK. UK is a big consumer for us. New Zealand is a big consumer, and some other countries around the world. So it just we don't just consume it all in Australia. It does go pretty much everywhere. The 42 has been really well received in the subsonic version in the countries where you can still shoot semi-automatics. Functionality is always a problem with semi-automatics in 22 long rifle, and so far every report we've had with that product it's been really good. Okay,
so for those viewers who are, might be primary producer holders of Cat C here in Australia, using 1022s, Ruger 1022s and so forth that seem pretty popular in primary production. These rounds should function through there. Definitely worth.
Cycle fine. The other thing, like not a lot of people realise, but when we produce a product at Geelong in our facility there, we test through semi-automatics there. Anywhere that we provide a product that's got to go overseas, where it still can be used in semi-automatics, we've tested in semi-automatics. All our field loads, centerfire, rimfire, it all gets put through that process to make sure that functionality goes through them.
Okay, excellent. All right. Just in final, obviously Winchester Australia, you guys are wholesalers, so obviously it's not going to be sale direct to the public. Most viewers can just go to their local gun shop and find all this Winchester products. But if they want to read up a little bit more information, like on the ammunition and the rifles and so forth, Winchester Australia have their own website that they can go to?
You can go to www.winchesteraustralia.com.au. Everything is in the latest 2012 catalogue that we've got there. That's available as a PDF online as well.
Excellent.
So you can download that at your leisure. Flick through it. There's plenty of copies. All of our dealers will generally have copies of our catalogues. If they've run out of them, all they've got to do is ask us for more and we'll get more of them.
No worries at all. All right, well what we'll do is once again with a lot of these reviews is we'll put a link to the manufacturer's website at the bottom of the review so that people can actually log on and see for themselves. So once again, mate, thanks for talking Aussie Reviews. We really appreciate it, and all the best in the future.
Cheers.